Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Alan W. Sugarman Sports Complex here in beautiful Fort Lee, New Jersey, the setting for our Big North American Division Soccer Showdown here in boys soccer. As today, it's the Dwight Morrow Maroon Raiders, 1-2 on the season, have come calling to take on the Fort Lee Bridgemen, 1-1 so far here in 2022. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by my intrepid producer, Dimitri Nanis, as well as our camera operator, Mike Rachapi, and we're so glad that you can join us for another edition of Fort Lee Boys Soccer action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Beautiful afternoon, very comfortable here, sunny skies, 74 degrees at opening kickoff. And for both these teams, they are coming off league wins their last time out. For Dwight Morrow, they played a makeup game against Ridgefield Park yesterday, won 3-2. Fort Lee defeated Dumont 3-0 on the road on September 12th. This game is getting started a little later than anticipated because of the late arrival to the field by Dwight Morrow, so we're just about to kick off the start of this one. As we mentioned, Fort Lee started off the season with a tough 2-1 defeat here on September 8th. At the Sugarman Sports Complex in a game seen here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. They lost to PC 2-1. It was a back-and-forth game in the second half after a scoreless first 40 minutes of play, but then Fort Lee got the answer they wanted, hitting the road, taking care of the Dumont Huskies 3-0, and now put themselves in a position to garner their second win in divisional play here against a Dwight Morrow side that had lost their first two games of the season, 3-0 at home against Bergen Tech, and then were shut out 4-0 on the road at Union, but again bounced back in their last game yesterday against Ridgefield Park and handed the Scarlets a loss, and in the process picked up their first win of the season, as well as picking up a win in divisional play. So both teams are 1-0 to start their Big North American Division slate of games, and the winner will remain in first place with the win here this afternoon. Dwight Morrow is led by their head coach, William Mara Orozco. He led Dwight Morrow to 6 wins in 2021, their most wins since the 2018 season that saw Dwight Morrow capture 10 victories in that campaign. And Fort Lee is led by Demba Main. In his 11th season at his alma mater, he just accomplished a feat of history, claiming his 100th career coaching victory in his last game against Dumont. He also led Fort Lee to their first state tournament win last season, first time since 2018. Fort Lee will be wearing their home black uniforms with the black numerals outlined in orange, while Dwight Morrow will come in with their maroon tops and silver trim down the sides with silver numerals as well. These two sides split their two games a season ago, with each team winning on the road. Dwight Morrow came here to Fort Lee and won 1-0 on October 16th, while Fort Lee then returned the favor, went to Englewood, and defeated Dwight Morrow 2-1 on October 19th. Fort Lee has had the better of the play, though, in this rivalry, as they have won 4 of their last 5 meetings against Dwight Morrow, with only that loss here at home a season ago being the most recent victory in this series. So we are about to get ready now for kickoff here, just around 4:42 local time of when we are about to get underway. And we thank you again so much for joining us and supporting these student athletes by tuning into all of these Fort Lee Athletic YouTube channel broadcasts. Throughout the fall season, we'll have you covered for boys and girls soccer here at the Sugarman Sports Complex, as well as the girls volleyball at East Gymnasium. And then we'll be covering all of the sports in the winter and in the spring as well here on our free YouTube broadcast. So thank you for your support. Just seeing what is our final wait here, as it looks like we're finally getting the keeper for Dwight Morrow to get into position. Edwin Sanchez coming off a 7-save performance and win against Ridgefield Park yesterday. Just trying to put on a white kit up top. It looks like maybe his uniform was too similar to the field players. Again, the referee's trying to sort things out. Do they have too many players on the field right now for Dwight Morrow? Is trying to get everything sorted out here. Get the starting 11. Looks like everything is okay. As we are about to get underway. Both teams coming off wins their last time out. Who will go potentially to 2-0 here in conference and league play? So the opening kick and possession here for Fort Lee as they try to outlet it over to the near side. Charlie King intercepted that and played it back. As that goes all the way back to the starting keeper here today for Coach Demba Main, it's Alton Tafalaj. Tafalaj, the senior #1, getting the start. Pitched a shutout victory at his last time out, made 4 saves, did not allow a goal in the 3-0 victory against Dumont. So Tafalaj getting the start here this afternoon. As Dwight Morrow will play it back to Sanchez. Sanchez allowed 2 goals in his win yesterday with the 7 saves for Dwight Morrow, as that's headed forward down the far side flank. A little bit of a bump there, getting Caden Chan bumped off the ball, but the referee was right in the vicinity to make that call. Free kick upcoming already here for Fort Lee from about the 25-yard line. Fort Lee trying to set up where this set piece is going to go, while Dwight Morrow is setting up their 2-man wall. As Sanchez barks out the instructions, lined up on the far side post. Chipped forward, headed, and taken off a bounce by Sanchez. He'll recover that one and make his first stop. As that one was taken kind of a deflection as that was skimmed right through the middle. Nothing too challenging. Now Dwight Morrow trying to gain possession here and bring it up the ranks. Trying to pass over to the far side. Comes back up top, now over to the near side. It goes to King as he'll play it up top. Dwight Morrow, a team that has now scored 3 goals in 3 games this season. 3 total games this season, averaging 1 goal a game after being, again, shut out over the course of their first 2 games of the season. Or shut out by Bergen Tech 3-0. Union beat them 4-0, but then they got into the win column with a 3-2 victory against Ridgefield Park yesterday. Played along the near sideline. Played forward. Getting a touch of that one was Enzo Yu, number 10. Yu is the leading scorer so far this season for Fort Lee. He has scored 3 goals in 2 games this year for the Bridgemen. He had the lone goal for Fort Lee here at home against Paramus Catholic in our first broadcast of the 2022 season. Now free kick being set up here for Dwight Morrow as they look to go long with it. Looking for Samuel Lancheros down the near side, but he can't get to it in time. That goes out of play, and it's going to be going out for a goal kick. And Tafalash will handle. Last season with the 2 meetings between these 2 schools, it was a home and home type of setup that both games were played over the course of 3 days. October 16th was the first meeting here, a 1-0 win for Dwight Morrow on the road. And then Fort Lee returned the favor a couple days later on October 19th, won a 2-1 decision in Englewood. Played over to the far sideline, right in front of Coach Demba Main's sideline, and now it's going to be going out of bounds for a throw-in and a quick restart here for Dwight Morrow. Fort Lee averaging 2 goals per game this season after putting up the 3 spot in their last game. Had their opportunities against Paramus Catholic, just could not capitalize late, including a wide-open net that was missed that would have tied the score at 2-2 late in regulation. The Paladins held on to win the game, after Fort Lee, for long stretches of that contest, had the better of the play. There'll be a throw in here to the near side by Gordon Cheng, the freshman. They get it back to Cheng to the near side. Give and go right down the middle. Yu trying to get a touch of it, was trying to play it forward to Caden Chan. Chan, who's coming off a 1-assist performance against Dumont the last time out, number 9 in black and orange. Chan, the senior, now with 40 career points in his illustrious career here at Fort Lee. 11 goals, 18 assists in his varsity career. Getting his first point of the season with that assist in the win against the Huskies. Service right down the midfield. Chan was trying to get to it. Caromed off out of bounds at the near side as Ji-Ha Park, number 11, also could not secure enough of the possession. Just over 5 minutes gone by here, the start of the first half. Again, we got off to a late start because of the late arrival of Dwight Morrow High School here to the Sugarman Sports Complex, and that'll mean an opportunity here for Fort Lee to get themselves going. They were here on the pitch and were warming up for a while before eventually this game could get going. Taflage will re-trigger play and pass it over to the far side. Trying to tiptoe in that far sideline. Trying to spin around it was Steven Carabano. Carabano is the scoring threat for this Dwight Morrow side. Had a pair of goals yesterday against Ridgefield Park. To the near side. Deflected, last touch. Out of bounds off of Fort Lee, so it's going to be a throw-in for King and Dwight Morrow. Both these teams not only compete in the Big North American Division, but also will factor into the North 1 Group 3 playoff rankings. It's never too early to take a little quick peek at the PowerPoints and see where everything sets up. It's a 22-team field where only 16 of the 22 will qualify for the state playoffs. So all these early season games are so vital then later on to punching your playoff ticket. Fort Lee knew that quite well a season ago. They not only made the playoffs, but were able to garner the number 8 seed. That would give them a home game here at the Sugarman Sports Complex. They won an exciting game against Morris Hills, and then eventually were eliminated by the top seed of Ramapo. Over to the near side. Trying to chase after it to the near side. A hard challenge, but a clean one at that as that goes out of bounds. Last touch off of Dwight Morrow, as that was Park who was racing for possession of the near side. Stolen away by the Maroon Raiders. Again, you could sense a little bit of a feistiness here between these two sides. They know each other quite well as division rivals. Played backwards by Kato Shinoda, number 8. Over the far side was Ryan Steer, number 5, one of the leaders of that back line of the defensive unit. There's a physical play, knocked off the ball with a shoulder. There's a long-distance offering, as that will sail harmlessly out of bounds to the far left side. But again, a good effort there by Dwight Morrow, and kind of statements being made, too, as you saw a couple of physical plays with hard tackles as well as shouldered advances. You're in league play now. This isn't for the faint of heart. Long ball going over to the far side. Chan just couldn't get it down as now Fort Lee runs past possession. It's going to be Dwight Morrow with the ball in the midfield. Played over to the near side. Trying to get that one to Lancheros. Lancheros defended nicely. Played over to the near side by Randy Mariquin. Played up top to the midfield to Chan. Chan going diagonally to the far side, but the advance is just a little too far down the field. It's not going to allow Fort Lee to run underneath that one. As now it's going to be possession and an opportunity here for Dwight Morrow to try to bring it back up the field in the offensive end. Still scoreless as we're about to enter into 9 minutes elapsed time here in the first half. Played forward. And I'll take a couple hops, and Tafalage will go back to collect. Second home game of the season for Fort Lee. They'll play back-to-back home games. After this one, they'll have a couple of days off before taking on Ridgefield Park, a team that Dwight Morrow knocked off on the road yesterday. And, of course, with that game on September 20th, you'll be able to watch that game live and on demand anytime here for free on the YouTube channel sponsored by the Fort Lee Athletic Department. There's a collision and some frustration also setting into the far side by Naoki Dartley, number 7. For Fort Lee, he was called for the foul, and now a free kick upcoming for Dwight Morrow. Looks like Coach Demba Main is going to be set to make his first substitution coming up shortly in this game, as Dwight Morrow will go back to collect with Christian Malkowski, number 13. Getting it back to his keeper, Edwin Sanchez. Malkowski booting that one long. Headed down by Cheng. Steer will set it over to the far side to Samuel Choi. Choi gets knocked down. We play on. Again, a lot of physical play so far in this one. Ball was still in play as now that goes slowly to the back line, and now a little pressure being administered on the far side as that was Dartley trying to pounce on that loose ball. He earns the throw in to the far side. As correction, that was Enzo Yu who was the man who administered that initial challenge, and now a little pressure being shown by the attackers of Fort Lee. They will give a corner kick to the far side. So a corner kick upcoming, first corner of the game for either team. Subs being made, and now Fort Lee is trying to get into the box here, get an opportunity. They don't try a lofted pass there. They kept it on the ground, and that was to the benefit of the defense there for Dwight Morrow. Just kept everything on the ground and no real chance at a service inside the box. Kind of interesting decision there made by Fort Lee. Bridgman draw the contact and the foul. Steer will handle this. Sent it in on Cage, and that was a good attempt. That time it had a little air underneath it, took it in between. As Fort Lee again trying to make the most out of what has been an aggressive Dwight Morrow side early on in this contest. As that rolls out of bounds, last touch off of Fort Lee. Quick trigger and a restart. Here comes Dwight Morrow the other way. Nice give and go in the box. They take the shot, trying to get it into the near side post, and they didn't miss by much. That was a beautiful build-up. Best opportunity of the first half for Dwight Morrow, as the Maroon Raiders were trying to capitalize in transition on the counterattack. Shot missed wide, and it's now 27.5 minutes left to go in a scoreless first half here in Fort Lee. That rolls all the way to the far side. Out of bounds will be a throw-in here for the Bridgemen. Trying to pop that one in the air inside the scoring area. Cheng. Top to Yu. Trying to stay on side, but they just couldn't. Even though the pass was a little too long in the first place as well, would not have counted if they found its way to the foot of the oncoming attacker. And good build-up, though, for Fort Lee. That was quickly a move by Enzo Yu to try to link up with a teammate in Caden Chen. Enzo Yu with 2 goals against Dumont in that 3-0 victory. Had a goal here against Paramus Catholic and almost had 2 goals himself. He started to provide the scoring punch that we referenced in our first broadcast of how do you replace the likes of an all-county, all-state player in Timothy Strelli from a season ago. Well, Enzo Yu is up to the challenge already, 3 goals in 2 games. Now taken by Lancheros into the box. That one is deflected right to the near side. That is going to be a corner kick after Charlie King, the sophomore defender, was so close to sneaking that one into the near side post and getting an early goal for the visitors. So the last 2 offensive possessions have been good ones for Dwight Morrow, as they have built it up and had opportunities with service inside the box as well. Now Fort Lee's got to do some defending here on this corner kick that's going to be taken to the near side corner flag. Dwight Morrow barking out the instructions from the near side flag. That one's headed away in the middle of the box up top by Yu. Now they try to send it back in, go to the far side. A little miscommunication Tafilage was taking his time whether or not to come out and aggressively cut down that angle. And there was a bit of a collision there and nearly led to a goal after it looked like the worst of the trouble for the defense had subsided for Fort Lee. So Dwight Morrow threatening on a couple of occasions there, but it remains scoreless. 15 minutes gone by here in the first half. Played over to the far side as that will go out of bounds. Will be a resulting throw-in in the defensive third for Fort Lee. Dwight Morrow trying to produce an early goal here after producing 3 in their last fixture. Chan trying to hunt down possession. Lucas Londano was getting it back up the field. Here's Steer. Hits it into the back of the ankle of his teammate who was trying to break out to the far side. He goes last touch off of Enzo Yu. Will be a throw-in now here for Dwight Morrow. Popped up in the air. As easy handle there for Tafilage. Fort Lee struggling to get it out of its own ends. It does deflect off of Dwight Morrow last, so it's going to be a throw-in now for the Bridgemen. Here's Caden Chan. Chan in the open field, shouldered off the ball. Ball was left over to the near side to Park, but it went off his foot. Jinha Park had one of the 3 goals against Dumont, with the 2 others coming off the foot of Enzo Yu. Trying to throw it down the near sideline to Caden Chan. Chan with 11 career goals, so go along with 18 career assists. Parried out of bounds to the near side by Randy Marroquin. The senior didn't want to take any chances. We'll clear it out of harm's way down the near sideline as we're quickly approaching the midway point of the first half. 22 and a half minutes left to go in half number 1. Still scoreless in this league matchup between Dwight Morrow and Fort Lee. Again, Sense sky high and easily corralled by Tafilage. These 2 sides will meet for a second time in the regular season at Dwight Morrow on October 6th. Headed out of bounds to the far side will be possession and a throw-in upcoming now for Fort Lee. Outside of that set piece offering from Ryan Steer, nothing really to speak of so far in this first half offensively for Fort Lee. Malkowski playing it backwards to Lodano. Coming back for it is Raul Ramirez Diaz. Londano with the long ball service. Could not link up with the teammate. Again, Dwight Morrow doing a good job of shutting down and shutting off the midfield service for Fort Lee right now in this game. It's been very tough for the Bridgemen to win back the ball. Londano sprinting up the field, try to leave that off to the far side, but a little too long. That'll go out of bounds. Will go out for a Fort Lee goal kick. Dwight Morrow a season ago 6-8-2 overall. They finished 3rd in the division with a 4-3-1 divisional record. Only a couple seasons ago, Dwight Morrow in 2019 went winless, 0-13. So the job that Coach William Mara Orozco has done has been exceptional. Trying to look for back-to-back wins this season. As that will go out of bounds, it will be a corner kick upcoming here for Dwight Morrow, taken in the far side flag. looking for the first goal of the game. Fort Lee did not surrender any goals in the first half of their home opener against Paramus Catholic. They gave up the first goal of the second half, then tied it up at 1-1, and then gave up what proved to be the deciding goal also in the second half in a 2-1 loss. Cleared away by Kato Shinoda. Shinoda had an assist against Dumont. Whistle sounds, and it looks like it's going to be a quick restart here taken by Fort Lee. They try to get it to Enzo Yu. Just the last touch escaped him as that'll go all the way down. And into the outer vestiges of the box comes Edwin Sanchez to jump on top of it and cut down any offensive buildup on that possession here for Fort Lee. Under 19 and a half minutes left to go in a scoreless first half of play. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Mike Rachapi, glad that he could join us here in the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. There's a late clip in contact and a foul charged against Fort Lee, so it's going to be a free kick upcoming now for Dwight Morrow. Lucas Landano will handle this service. Landano had an assist against Fort Lee back last October 19th. Also had a goal in the game yesterday. That's headed off balance, finding its way to Tafalaj, who easily will corral that one as he outlets it to the far side. Dwight Morrow, you could say, has generated the better offensive scoring opportunities so far in this game. Let's see if Fort Lee can get going here as they build up the offensive charge. Trying to go back with it to Shinoda. Could not get it back to him in time. As that's cleared all the way down, trying to find another forward the other way. There's contact drawn and another foul against the back line defense of Fort Lee. And a free kick upcoming here for Dwight Morrow. With 18 minutes left to go before halftime. Quickly taken to the far side, trying to catch Fort Lee by surprise. Richmond weren't asleep there at the wheel. Enzo Yu tries to clear it out. Taken away, stepped up, deflected last touch. They'll say off of Fort Lee last. It'll be a throw-in now here for Dwight Morrow. Ramirez Diaz playing it over to the near side. Charlie King might have had the best scoring opportunity for both teams so far in this first half. Number 2 had a header opportunity to the near side and just could not get it home for that first goal of the game. Out for a goal kick here for Alton Tafalaj. 4 saves and a shutout against Dumont. Had 27 saves last season as he and Benjamin Thomas have been alternating starts. Tafalaj had his best performance with 8 saves and a win against Bergenfield last season. Again, getting the start here today, his first start at home. Sanchez kicks that one deep. Nice move into the midfield as Fort Lee tries to bring it up. Cheng, pass a little too long for Chan. Right down the near side. Here comes Fort Lee building it up on the near side wing. They get it knocked out of bounds, just shy of the corner flag, so it will be a throw-in upcoming here for Fort Lee. As a sub will come back onto the field now for Coach Demba Main. With under 16 minutes and counting now left to go here in our first half of play. Fort Lee 0-1 at home, trying to secure their first win of the season here at the Sugarman Sports Complex. Beautiful afternoon for soccer. Got off to a later start than we expected, with a late arrival time at Dwight Morrow, but still it was 74 degrees and sunny at opening kick. Another throw-in here. Caden Chan gets the ball back to him. Pops it straight up in the air. This could be dangerous. It's fumbled and nearly was knocked into their own net by Dwight Morrow. Sanchez will let out a big sigh of relief there. could not hold that one cleanly as that popped in and out of his gloves, and ball was loose in front and nearly ricocheted off of one of the defenders and into the back of their own net. And it remains scoreless, and if that's ever a sign for Fort Lee, get things on net, get shots, get those pop-ups that could be so tricky even in the sun. Dwight Morrow trying to protest that they were tugged down in the box. Ball is still loose over to the near side. As we play on, Dwight Morrow looking for an opportunity, and with a jockeying for possession that leads to a foul against the Maroon Raiders. There'll be a free kick upcoming now for Fort Lee. Good defensive work by the Bridgemen in their back line. Headed forward as Caden Chan was trying to track it down. How can they get it to the feet of number 9? He's that maestro. Could be so exceptional up top. Good opportunity with a buildup. Even better defensive work in the midfield there for Fort Lee. Possession does go back to Dwight Morrow after both teams were trading possession. Enzo Yu trying to use his big frame to turn around against Ramirez Diaz. Definitely, as we have seen throughout the course of this first half, Dwight Morrow is much more a physical team than Fort Lee has shown so far. Fort Lee trying to use their speed and skill to get around these defenders, while Dwight Morrow has been much more effective in making this a little more physical and knowing what the referees are allowing, and they've been allowing this game to progress despite some shoulder charges. Here's a turnover forced by Dwight Morrow. They play it wide to the far side, trying to center the ball inside, mishit by Lancheros. Was trying a one-timer attempt, just could not get clean opportunity to shot on target. Possession still in the attacking third for Dwight Morrow. Karam's off to the far side, and that's going to be sent out of bounds to the far side. Off of the foot of Ryan Steer. It's going to be a throw-in deep in the offensive end for Dwight Morrow. Just under 13 minutes left to go until halftime. Subs being made by both teams as they await both players in each grouping to successfully come out on the field. Another offensive opportunity here late in the first half for Dwight Morrow. They'll throw it in the far side. Into the box, headed forward by Fort Lee. Knocked down. Sent back in. Here's King. He gets erased quickly. Ball still loose, though. And now an eventual foul is whistled against Dwight Morrow. After Shinoda was sent down to the turf, he had to readjust his socks and get back to the course of play. Long ball over to the near side. Here's Chan. Chan playing it over to the near side now to Chang. Chang was trying to get around the defender. Now out of bounds. He'll have the restart with a throw-in. That's knocked away again, and here comes Fort Lee trying to produce some offensive opportunities of their own. Dwight Morrow struggling a little bit in the box. Enzo Yu was knocked down. Demba Main calling for an opportunity there. He was thinking that that should have been a penalty kick opportunity, that Yu had the ball at his feet and was knocked down cleanly. That deflected shot, Karam straight up in the air. Chang was trying to jump to it. Comes out in space. Here's an opportunity and a build-up to the far side. Fort Lee looking for it just in the outer edges of the box. Service inside. Again, finally getting to it is Dwight Morrow. After some dogged defending and some struggles to get it out of its own ends, now the Maroon Raiders get it to midfield. They break out the other way with Samuel Lancheros, the senior. Tries to take a shot of the run that is weakly deflected, and with a lot of English on it, rolls its way back to Tafilage. No trouble there for the defense of Fort Lee. As we are closing in on the final 10 minutes of half number 1. Chan trying to get to it. Dwight Morrow just knocks it out of bounds to the near side. Will be a throw-in directly underneath us to the broadcast booth that's lined up at around the 50-yard line here. Played over to Shinoda, who's trying to cut behind the defense. Ball slithers through, though, and finds its way to Carabano. Now moving up the field. Dwight Morrow being a little more patient in this offensive set. Pinballed around and eventually sent forward. Now to the feet of Shinoda. Shinoda tugged on, and that foul was caught by the official on the far side. That'll set up a free kick now for Fort Lee. Misplay and the bad pass on the far side. That'll go out of bounds and will be a throw-in now close to midfield for Dwight Morrow, who go to their bench again to make another sub. 9:15 and counting left to go here in the first half. It's been a fun one. It's felt like a league game with these two teams knowing each other quite well and knowing that a chance to start 2-0 in divisional play is on the line for the victor here today. Dwight Morrow trying to make it 2 straight road wins as well. Here's Enzo Yu with the ball at his feet. 3 goals on the season. He's the leading goal scorer for the Bridgemen, but the double team comes and does its job and clears away possession. We play on. Incidental contact ruled by the far side official. Love to see, again, just quick play here as Enzo Yu in hot pursuit. Played back to Sanchez. Dangerous outlet there. The goalie keeping the pass on the ground right in front of the attacking striker. Steer gets ahead on it. Lancheros with a little space to operate to the far side. Dwight Morrow looking to produce a late goal in the first half to take a lead with them into halftime. Nice play there by Shinoda. Plays over to the far side, and now Fort Lee trying a little long ball action. Not able to find anyone on the receiving end of that long pass. Sanchez will just pick it up as he will set up the clearance opportunity here with under 8 minutes left to go in the first half. So Dwight Morrow will head home for their next 3 games, as they will be playing the likes of Passaic Valley, then Paramus, and then Cliffside Park in their next 3 consecutive games, all at home on September 17th, 20th, and 22nd. Fort Lee will have a couple days off before their next game, as they will play host to Ridgefield Park next Tuesday. And a reminder, fans, that you could join us for that game here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Take it on one hop. Settled down by Dwight Morrow in the midfield. They try to have the build-up to the near side. Good step up there by Mariquin. Lancheros. Both teams finding the back of the net 3 times in their last game. Need forward. And again, there's that physicality that Dwight Morrow has used to win back balls consistently in this first half. Fort Lee has been pushed over a couple of times here, and I think they have to get a little stronger on the ball, especially when you make those adjustments in the second half of play. While they may have a technical edge on Dwight Morrow at points, they have to get a little stronger in the midfield. They're getting bullied a bit. Lancheros getting his jersey tugged on quite a bit. Now it's going to be a free kick upcoming. Taken by Lancheros. Try to take that one from a well-ambitious effort from about the 30-yard line. He was trying to uncork a low worm burner of a shot. That gets parried away, knocked out of bounds to the far side. 5:45 and counting left to go here in the first half of play. Still scoreless between Fort Lee and Dwight Morrow. Bridgemen 12-7 a season ago. Produced their most wins in a season since going 15-3 in 2017. They split the 2 meetings with Dwight Morrow. There's Enzo Yu. Right down the middle, good service over to the near side to Caden Chan. Chan being flanked by two different players, takes the shot, fall away, nearly was a beautiful finish as that just kept on lofting its way down to the far side and nearly found pay dirt in the back top corner of the nets on the far left side. Caden Chan showing off some shooting ability there after, again, his momentum was kind of drifting him backwards. It was kind of a fadeaway shot and nearly had a picture-perfect finish to that one. Just missed by inches. Best shot opportunity of the first half for Fort Lee. Bridgman are trying to replicate what they did a season ago. They lost their season opener last year and then rattled off 5 consecutive wins. They lost their season opener this year and are coming off a win in their last game. Just trying to make this 2 straight wins to start off 2022. Chang, freshman, being hounded. Gets a foot on it, but it gets out to space, and it's Dwight Morrow with the possession. Here come the Maroon Raiders the other way. Dangerous ball. Tafilage coming out to make a big-time play. That's an aggressive goaltending move. Might have saved a shot on goal opportunity as well coming against him. And bailed out his defensive unit. It's one of those do-or-die moments. You come all the way out. Got to get a piece of it because if you swing and miss, you have a wide-open net that was left vacant. Dwight Morrow could have easily produced that opening goal of the game just before halftime. 3.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Dwight Morrow now trying to create a couple more possessions and opportunities offensively. Possession stolen away. Here's an opportunity for Fort Lee as Yu pushes it forward, but offsides the call against Naoki Dartley. Dartley, number 7, who was trying to get a touch of that one after possession was pushed forward by Yu. Dartley produced an assist in the win against Dumont. Now the ball sent wide to the far side, but off the head. Last touch by Dwight Morrow. 2:45 and counting left to go. Each team has had their offensive opportunities. Fort Lee just gifts possession right back after the missed throw. Knocked forward by Shinoda. Steer will let it roll all the way back to his keeper. He'll come out to collect it. Chang's pass knocked down initially. Ladanos headed forward. Shinoda couldn't get to it. Sliding play made by Dwight Morrow in the midfield. Here's Samuel Lancheros. Dangerous ball in the back line. And again, Tafilage doing a good job of using that anticipation. He tries to boot it long to the far side, but that will go all the way out of bounds. Will be a throw in here for Dwight Morrow. Collision ensues between a couple of players in the midfield as Lancheros slow to get to his feet as well. Good sportsmanship displayed by both players as Samuel Choi, the sophomore, was called for the foul. 90 seconds left to go in a scoreless first half. Free kick just shy of midfield here for Dwight Morrow. Taking their time to eventually kick this one back. Lodano sending it into the box. No one lurking. Fort Lee just waiting for it to go out of bounds. It never did go out of bounds, but there was a whistle, and it looks like offsides might have been the call. So now it's going to be an opportunity here for Fort Lee to kick this one away. They will say, actually, that it went out of bounds, and that'll end up as a goal kick. "35 seconds left to go in first half. Good work by Naoki Dartley. Here's an opportunity and a foul from behind. Getting clipped on that play. It's Alessandro Carratazzolo. 17 seconds left to go in the half. Fort Lee's going to have to hurry here to get this free kickoff before halftime. They're saying that they're not being given a lot of time. 5 seconds now coming up here. Will there be a shot opportunity? As Dwight Morrow just having the wall waiting. As now it looks like that will end the first half of play. Demba, Maine, and Fort Lee incredulous of why they didn't get a chance to get a shot opportunity off. It was a lot of effective time wasting being done by Dwight Morrow. You had the foul committed just outside the box, and you had the referees not allowing Fort Lee to start with a re-kick, as well as the clock was just winding down, and that ends the first 40 minutes of action. So scoreless once again through the first 40 minutes of play, this time between Dwight Morrow and Fort Lee. Stick around, fans, as we'll be back for the start of the second half in a couple of minutes, as you're watching Fort Lee Boys Soccer here on the Fort Lee YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sugarman Sports Complex here in Fort Lee, New Jersey, as we're one half in the books and moments away from the resumption of play and the start of the second half. And it has been what you'd expect a league matchup to be between two rivals that are very even in play. It is a scoreless first 40 minutes of play, just like we saw in our last home broadcast between Fort Lee and Paramus Catholic. No goals to speak of through the first 40 minutes of action. In the last game, we then saw 3 combined second half tallies, so we'll see if the scoring barrage is bound to happen as well. As we are getting set for the start of the second half, Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Mike Rachapi, glad that he could join us for our broadcast of Fort Lee Soccer here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Bridgman trying to make it 2 straight wins on the season, get above 500 for the first time this year. They're 1-1 on the season. Dwight Morrow 1-2 after starting off the season 0-2 on the season. They are playing with a little confidence after producing a 3-2 win on the road at Ridgefield Park yesterday. They were a more physical side in that first half. They created some great offensive chances of their own, just could not produce, and Fort Lee generated a couple of good scoring opportunities of their own, but again, could not find the back of the net. We'll see what type of adjustments have been made by Coach Demba Main and his coaching staff to try to get the offensive opportunities at the feet of some of their playmakers. Fort Lee in the black home uniforms with a gray striping. Black numbers outlined in orange, while Dwight Morrow in their maroon tops with silver shorts and white numerals. New keeper in the game is Christopher Martinez now for Dwight Morrow. So we are underway to start the second half of play. Fort Lee in search of their first win at home this season. It would also be their second overall win of 2022. Dwight Morrow trying to get their second consecutive road game under their belts with a win. They have begun the season 3 of their first 4 games played on the road. Carrazzola was the man who was trying to gain that possession in the near side. Now sent over to the far side to Chan. Chan trying to get a step on his defender. Takes the shot and just missed that one high and wide. But that's exactly what Coach Demba Main was probably stressing to his team, especially his playmakers up top. Be aggressive. Get those shot opportunities. Test these goalies for Dwight Morrow. Don't just look for the perfect opportunity. Just get something early and often in your offensive possessions. And Kidd and Chan unleashed a rocket of a shot opportunity that time. As Dwight Morrow will get set to kick this one back into play. Carrazzola getting it back up top. Enzo Yu getting a piece of it. Carrazzola over to the near side. Yu heading it forward. Taken down by the back line. Malkowski was trying to clean things up. Yu trying to get free. He has 3 goals on the season in the first 2 games. Takes a shot. Not a lot on that as he was fading away, taking that shot from up top. But again, it's good. It's aggressive start to the second half for Fort Lee on offense. Trying to push the pace and put the pressure on that back line of the defense. Choi, nice move. Left foot, though. Telegraphed that pass. Got that deflected out of bounds. Carrazzola got that deflected away. Shinoda trying to run down Lancheros. The far side, backheeled. There's a collision, a hard tumble, and again, clean play. Referees allowing both these teams to play, and that's been obviously to the benefit of the more aggressive side, physically speaking, and Dwight Morrow. Now it's going to be a throw into the far side wing for the Maroon Raiders, looking for their first shot opportunity of the second half. Fort Lee has gotten 2 shots off here in the second half, 1 on target. Little contact that time. Dwight Morrow was asking for a call that never came. In the midfield he goes to the near side. Played backwards. Ladano. Sends that one cross field. Headed down by Gordon Chang. Here's Chan. Played back into the midfield. Then it was skewered out of bounds to the far side. Off of Dwight Morrow last. Will be a throw in here. Fort Lee trying to get their offense going here today. Scoreless right now in their second league contest of 2022 with Dwight Morrow. These two sides split a pair of games a season ago. Dwight Morrow trying to make it 2 successful consecutive trips here to the Sugarman Sports Complex. They won a 1-0 game a season ago in October. Fort Lee then split the season series with their 2-1 win on the road. Trying to take it over to the near side. Nice move up the field. Dwight Morrow trying to leave it off to the far side, but nobody was there, as that'll go out of play. Alton Tafalage not pressed into all that much work in that first half. Had a couple of opportunities, but made aggressive plays to also cut down on some angles of would-be attackers breathing down his neck. That goes out of bounds. Will be a throw-in now for Fort Lee. Choi trying to get it up top. Yu had his shot attempts deflected all the way back to the midfield. Now Dwight Morrow attacking down the near side. Steer stepping up and then gets run over from behind. That will be a foul against Dwight Morrow. And will this be a card? Looks like we will have a yellow card administered. So Dwight Morrow will have their player sent off for a time. A new player will come on. As we're coming up on 35 minutes left to go in regulation. So a little too physical that time. Dwight Morrow is given the yellow card. It'll be a free kick upcoming for Fort Lee back deep in their own defensive end of the field. Tafalage playing it to the midfield. Radazzolo draws the contact and another foul whistle against Dwight Morrow. So that'll gradually move possession down the field here for Fort Lee. A free kick around midfield. Steer will send it over to the far side. Late challenge potentially, and there's a whistle. And now the fouls are starting to pile up here for Dwight Morrow, and the official on the far side is saying that he's had enough. Next one would result in a yellow. Free kick now taken to the far side of the field by Fort Lee as they try to load up in the scoring area. Enzo Yu trying to get to it. Ball is loose on that far side post. Cleared away, though, by Malkowski. Taken down the near side by Dwight Morrow. They center the ball, but nobody was on the other end of the pass. Chang will track it down to the far side. Now into the midfield for Shinoda. He does a good job of dribbling away from one attempted tackle. The second tackle comes in late. It's going to be another foul against Dwight Morrow, and things are starting to get chippy between these two sides. A lot of fouls being committed here in the start of the second half by the visitors. They've already seen one yellow card being administered, and they have to be careful. Referee on the far side has already put out his warnings. Any other unnecessary fouls would result in some yellow. Low liner on the service, easily parried away. Now Lanchero's doing a good job of effectively getting around that first defender that came to him. Lanchero's chipping that one forward. Had a teammate streaking to the net. Tafalage anticipated that pass, though. Came off his line and got that away from danger. That time a collision ensued a little bit between two Fort Lee teammates. As that goes out of bounds, that's going to be a push in the back whistled against Fort Lee. Park and Caradazzolo had nearly clunked a couple of heads together on that last play down the near side. Free kick sent down the other way by Dwight Morrow. Carabano was trying to get to it. Lancheros playing it back in the midfield. No shot opportunities so far in this second half for Dwight Morrow. Fort Lee has had the better of the opportunities. Now they steal it away. Here comes the counterattack. Just couldn't get that second step right in front of the defender. Now Dwight Morrow with a little more pressure. They send that one from distance. That was trying to link up with Carabano coming down the near side wing. Here's Enzo Yu in the midfield. Can he get away? And there's some contact, and they say play on, no foul. They said all ball on that challenge in the midfield after Yu was taken down. They said that it was a lot of ball, and then Yu was trying to buy his call, jumping up in the air. Dwight Morrow stepped on the ball. That leads the breakout the other way. A tug on the jersey, and now a whistle from the official from behind. Time will be stopped, and it looks like it might be a yellow card. Might be given here, as it will be a yellow against Dwight Morrow. You've sensed that was coming. Once the defender stepped on the ball and Enzo Yu forced the turnover, it came down the other way. Now it led to an opportunity and a lot of tugging from behind, and again, hopefully cooler heads will prevail. It looks like another player will be sent off here. It's going to be another potential yellow. We already saw one yellow on this play. I don't know if there's another yellow with another player being sent off with dissent. But the emotion's starting to play a factor here, and Dwight Morrow seems to be the team that can't really compose themselves the same way. The thing is, will Fort Lee be able to capitalize on this recent run of emotional play that Dwight Morrow has been showing defensively? They've been victimized a couple times with necessary yellow cards. Now a set piece, and standing over the ball is Enzo Yu. Yu curls that underneath the two-man wall, but that's easy pickings for Dwight Morrow. Nothing that really challenges the goalie to make a decisive save. Approaching the first 10 minutes gone by in the second half. It's still scoreless between these two league rivals. Last touch out of bounds off of Dwight Morrow. They throw down the near side. Carratazalo getting fouled there, and is this going to be another yellow card? And it's going to be another yellow shown to Dwight Morrow. I believe that's 4 yellow cards now given to Dwight Morrow in this game. 30-26 left to go here in the second half. It's now up to Fort Lee to benefit after this over-aggressive play from Dwight Morrow. Line drive service could have been dangerous. Now in the box trying to win back possession. Joy just couldn't get to it in time, and the long ball sent the other way the length of the field. Sent back forward by Fort Lee. Nice nutmeg there. Sent by Caden Chan to the far side after he slew the ball through the legs of his defender. That's cleared out of bounds and will go out of bounds for a throw-in and possession here for Dwight Morrow as it went out of bounds on the Fort Lee sideline. 29:40 left to go in regulation. We are scoreless here at the Sugarman Sports Complex. First meeting of the season between Dwight Morrow and Fort Lee, and emotions starting to play a part in this one. In the second half alone, we have seen 4 yellow cards shown to 4 different players for Dwight Morrow. As that goes out of bounds, last touch off of Fort Lee. And again, if any of those players who earned a yellow get another yellow shown to them throughout the course of this game, then that would be a red card and Dwight Morrow playing down a couple of men. Played over to the near side it goes by the Maroon Raiders. Both teams looking to make it 2 straight wins on the season after impressive wins in their last fixtures. Little contact there. Last touch out of bounds, and they're going to say that is last touch off of Fort Lee, so it's going to result in a corner. A corner kick opportunity here for Dwight Morrow. 28.5 minutes left to go. Last year's game here at Fort Lee was only a one-goal game and only one total goal scored in the output of that game. Will one goal just be the difference here this afternoon? Corner taken short over to the near side. Lodano trying to fit that one into the box, was headed away. Here's Lodano again. Trying to body Chan off the ball. Double team comes to him. Lodano is wiped out of the play. And now it looks like it's going to be a card given. This time it looks like to Fort Lee. So Fort Lee will be shown their first yellow card, as the officials, rightfully so, I think, are trying to gain control of this game, knowing that tempers are starting to get the better of some of these players. So a yellow card shown to Fort Lee. I think it was shown to Caden Chan. So Chan is having a sub off the field. It's going to be another set piece handled here by Lucas Londano. The junior who had an assist against the Bridgman a season ago, coming off a goal in his last game. Taking some time here before we could get going. Curled over to the far side, and that deflects last touch off the back of an attacking Dwight Morrow player, and will go out of bounds for a goal kick for Tafilage. It's been a fun one. With the physicality and knowing each other so well, it kind of gives off the feel of a playoff game, the vibe of this one. Not just for Fort Lee, the third game of the season, and the fourth game of the season for Dwight Morrow. You feel like there's much more on the line than just the simple first regular season matchup between these league rivals. If there is a victor in this game, they will head to 2-0 in league play to start off the 2022 season. A lot of tugging there right in front of the Dwight Morrow sideline, and eventually the foul is whistled against the Maroon Raiders. Again, Coach Mara Roscoe has done wonders here to reset the program after this program only a couple of seasons ago were winless. Now foul whistled against Fort Lee on the far side. It'll be a free kick upcoming for Dwight Morrow. You got players woofing at the officials, trying to earn the calls. We're going to have a very tense and exciting ending to this one. A well-officiated game, might I add, as well. Turnover force on the far sideline by Fort Lee. They're stood up and out of bounds it goes. It'll be a throw-in here earned by the Bridgman. Trying to get it to Naoki Dartley. How can Fort Lee solve that back line of Dwight Morrow? Get some offensive opportunities. They had a great start to the second half. Got a shot on target, had another shot that didn't miss by much by Caden Chan. They got to create these opportunities. Here's an opportunity, and Yu is dragged down a little bit from behind, but no call. Gonna have to do more to earn that opportunity at a call. And now time will stop as Enzo Yu is still on the turf, and great sportsmanship being displayed by Raul Ramirez Diaz, the defender for Dwight Morrow, who's actually helping Yu stretch out his leg, as he might have come up lame a little bit after trying to make that run and then was tugged at from behind. He's going to hop off the field to the far side, so hopefully the leading scorer this season for Fort Lee is going to be able to get healthy and get back onto the field relatively soon. Good thing for Demba Maine is having Caden Chan back onto the field after Chan had picked up the yellow card. 25-18 left to go here in the second half. Wholesale changes being made by Dwight Morrow as they have several players subbing into the game now. Again, hopefully Enzo Yu is going to be able to stretch himself out and be okay to return momentarily in this game. He's one of those offensive catalysts for this team that they so desperately need in a game like this. That's misplayed out of bounds off the foot of Tafalage, and now it's going to be a throw into the near side for Dwight Morrow, trying to get behind that back line, which has been solid so far here today for Demba Maine's side. There's a long ball, trying to find Dartley. Dartley just tried to come back to the ball, but that bounce avoided the opportunity for number 7 to track it down as he tries to work up top. Long ball to the far side the other way. Waiting for it, easily holding on to it is Tafalage. Once again, Dartley trying to backpedal to it. Played over to the far side. Chang sending it down the far side wing. Dartley again bodied off the ball. Both teams have just been solid defensively here today, not making mistakes. Frustrating the opposing offenses to just methodically move it down the field. Here's a 1-2 play. Dartley just couldn't get to it in time. Ramirez Diaz does play it out of bounds, though, so it will be possession here for Fort Lee. Where is this first goal of the game going to come from? Nearly got to the foot of Chan inside the box. He would have been a big-time target there. Good play to the far side by Lancheros. Lancheros trying to go 1v1 to the top of the box. Leaves it off for his teammate to the top of the box. Trying to get it inside. Dribbling a little too much is Dwight Morrow. That allowed Fort Lee to come back and rescue possession. Fort Lee taking their time. Here's Caden Chan with a long ball to the far side. Gets it out of harm's way. Anxious defending on the other side of the field. Dwight Morrow had an opportunity, just could not uncork a shot. Dribbling a little too much, trying to get a little too close to the goal before firing a shot. Long ball service. Lancheros was trying to run underneath that one. Can't get it to it. With a full field sprint, sending it long and out of play, will go out for a goal kick. 22:40 left to go here in the second half. Headed in the midfield, trying to chase after it to the near side. Going airborne was Caratazzolo. Sent out of bounds. Off of Dwight Morrow is going to be a throw in here for Fort Lee. Caratazzolo with a nice back heel kick. Pushed his defender, though, from behind, and he'll get called for it. That's going to be a foul, and I think a warning as well. Next time would potentially result in a potential card. Free kick upcoming now here for Dwight Morrow. Just at around midfield. As we're approaching the midway point of half number 2. Still scoreless between these two league rivals. Tafalage boots that skyward. Headed forward by Chan. Can't get to it, but comes out to Caratazzolo. Try to float that to the far side. Knocked down in the midfield. Here come the Bridgemen. Guadazolo again trying to get it to Caden Chan, but Fort Lee has not been able to put together 2 or 3 consecutive good, clean passes so far in this game. Dwight Morrow has had an opportunity to eventually pick off, intercept short passes. Fort Lee trying to put on a little more pressure, but they haven't been able to gain that consistent possession. Into the midfield. Stepping up and setting it down the other way. Tafalage will bounce it to himself once and drop kick it. Trying to free up his offense. Guadazolo was the closest man there. Here it goes to the feet of Chan. Chan trying to get away from his defender. Now to Choi. Again, Fort Lee just can't have 2 passes consecutively together. Now foul whistled against Guadazolo for the tug of the jersey. And Cheros blindly just sends that back one into the offensive box. Solid defensive work today by Fort Lee, but trying to get something going here on this side of the third. Here's a nice build-up to the outer edges of the box, but again, that lead pass just can't fit through. Haven't really had scoring opportunities from both sides in the last couple of moments as well. Every time that there's an eventual build-up, there's no shots to speak of. Here comes Fort Lee the other way. Aggressive tackling attempt. Now played to Chan. Chan goes 1-2, but no one was making the run on the other end. Sent down to the midfield. Played forward by Nicholas Garzon, number 22, for Dwight Morrow. Ball loose in the top. Lancheros. Played over to the near side. Garzon. Taken away from him. He tugs down at Fort Lee, and that'll be another foul. 18.5 minutes left to go in regulation. A lot of pushing, a lot of tugging going on in terms of these two teams. They don't want to give up an inch as we're closing in on the final half of the second half. 18 minutes coming up here left in regulation. Played to space in the far side. Fort Lee can't track it down as that goes out of bounds, and will be a throw-in upcoming for the Maroon Raiders. Next game for Dwight Morrow, they'll head back home for only their second home game of the season and take on the Hornets of Passaic Valley. For then they will host Paramus, and then their next league game will be against Cliffside Park, the defending league champs. That'll come on September 22nd. For Fort Lee, they'll be back home here against Ridgeville Park on the 20th, before then traveling to Bergenfield on September 22nd. Fort Lee to the far side. Down the middle of the box. It's loose inside the box. Ball is loose and just could not volley it. Guadazolo was the man who was closest to it. Tried a volleying play right in the middle of the box. Could have been the hero. Swung and missed and just couldn't get the clean shot opportunity. Here's Chan. Played back. Now Guadazolo trying to come down the near side. A big collision ensues. That's going to be a foul whistled against Dwight Morrow. Opportunity here for Fort Lee. Guadazolo a little slow, limping his way up. Free kick taken to the near side for the Bridgemen. Will Fort Lee be able to finally break through? We have not seen Enzo Yu check back onto the field. He's warming up on the Fort Lee sideline after having some cramps in his leg. He's the leading scorer, still off the field for Demba Maine. Steer has that one headed down after a low line drive service. Ball loose to the near side. Fancy footwork. Last touch Off of Dwight Morrow. Nice work there by Sam Choi. Shinoda. Nice play up top. Finding Chan. Chan splits the double team. Tries the offering to the far side. And much like his shot in the first half, so close to a beautiful finish. He split the double team, had that glimmer of space, and you saw that shot from distance. It just kept on curling towards that far side post and went wide of the net. Despite the goalie's dive attempt, he would not have had a chance if that was on target. Martinez will kick this one away. Fort Lee has had the better scoring opportunities in the second half. Sent over to the far side and wide. 15 minutes remaining here, still scoreless. No goals to speak of this afternoon here at the Sugarman Sports Complex in beautiful Fort Lee, New Jersey. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Mike Rachapi. Glad that you could join us for this fun league showdown here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Choi tried to maneuver his way through a host of defenders, couldn't get past the last man, and last touch off of Fort Lee. Give and go in the box. It's left to the foot of Dwight Morrow. They try to take the turn and fire. That shot is deflected. Cleared out to space by Fort Lee. Now trying to body his way and get around the defense. Fort Lee looking for an opportunity. Caradazzolo with a long ball. Now played down in the midfield. Nice move in the far side by Marcus Lee, number 12. Lee trying to race it down. Last touch off of the defense of Dwight Morrow. It'll be a throw-in upcoming now for Fort Lee. And good sign here to see number 10, Enzo Yu, back on the field. Leading scorer back on the field for Fort Lee after he was dinged up moments ago. Bridgman looking for an opportunity. In the box, sent down to the midfield. Here's Dwight Morrow. Not a lot of forwards waiting down to that far side. Headed over to the near side. Fort Lee getting a piece of it. Chip forward as we're under 13 minutes now left to go in regulation. Shinoda. Chan had it. Quickly played it back. Long ball to the far side, off the mark. I think Chan he's not even aware of how much time he actually has when it's played to his feet. He's quickly just maneuvered it back and has an opportunity if he wants, because of how far back the defense is playing behind him, to gain possession, turn, and then make his advance himself up the field. Long ball down the near side. Chested down. Chan. Shinoda. Caradazzolo collides. And the ball comes back. Long ball the other way as Taflash waits. And now it looks like a yellow card is going to be coming up. So it's going to be a yellow card shown to Fort Lee. Looks like it was Steer, number 5, Ryan Steer, the senior, who's going to have to come off the field right now. That will stop the clock momentarily with 12:03 left to go here in regulation. It's been a nip-tuck affair here today. It's been a good one. No scores so far with 12 minutes left to go in regulation. Londano waiting to attempt the set piece here, talking things over with his teammate. It's a two-man wall right in front of him right now. Now it's about to be a three-man wall as Fort Lee trying to set up their base. Londano will send this one onto the net. That's the best shot opportunity of the day for Dwight Morrow. An easy save through the air by Tafilaj. Over to the near side. Now Dwight Morrow bringing it back up. Maroon Raiders trying to make it 2 consecutive wins on the road in league play. Late challenge. They will say the foul whistled against Fort Lee. Drawing that foul was Lancheros. Now another set-piece opportunity presenting itself now here for Dwight Morrow. Can they find that elusive first goal of the afternoon for both teams? They just had their first real shot on target in the second half moments ago. 3-man wall set up. Lancheros, the senior. Asking for the wall to be set up a little deeper back as he was asking for the prerequisite 10 yards. Will this be the moment of brilliance for Dwight Morrow? Coming up on 10 minutes left to go in the game. Here's the shot from up top. That's blocked away by the Wall. Wall does its job defensively for Fort Lee. Dwight Morrow trying to turn the corner and fit it into the box. Gets deflected away, out of bounds. Last touch off of Dwight Morrow. And great defensive work there by the Bridgemen. The last couple of shot opportunities for Dwight Morrow as they've started to produce their best opportunities of this second half late in the contest. Steer will come back in to man the back line for Fort Lee after he was sent off with a card. 9:30 left to go here in the second half. Chan trying to head it forward. Now Yu trying to send it wide to the far side. Fort Lee trying to bring it up the field, but again, can't pair up a couple of passes cleanly. Here's Yu. Nice feed to Chan. Chan, though, behinds there. Goes over to the far side and coming all the way out to make the stop, Martinez. Fort Lee just clears it out to the far side again. I think the Bridgemen are not aware of how much more time they actually have afforded to them when the ball is coming to their feet. Backing off a little bit has been Dwight Morrow defensively, and Fort Lee, if they just calm themselves a little bit, might have a little more time to survey the defense and come up the field. A lot of contact made on the far side, eventually get to the feet of Lancheros. Dwight Morrow down the far side. Good, solid defensive tackle there as the ball gets sent out of bounds to the far side. Will be a throw in deep in the attacking third for Dwight Morrow. 8:15 and counting left to go here in the second half. You have the sense now, based on how long we've gone scoreless in this one, that next goal will win this one. I don't know if we're going to have multiple goals still at the disposal of both teams. Throw it into the box, nobody there. Dwight Morrow was trying to poke at it with a player down on his belly. Now an attacking opportunity on a counter for Fort Lee. Contact there at around the 34-yard line. It's going to be a foul whistled against Dwight Morrow. Free kick. Long ball sent down the other way. That should be a handball, and that's going to be a late whistle. It will be a handball against Dwight Morrow. So now the buildup is coming here for Fort Lee. Free kick opportunity here for the Bridgemen. 7:20 left to go in the second half. Sent over to the middle. There was a man wide open, a header attempt. Ball was fumbled a bit by the keeper. But then it was going to be a whistle sounded against Fort Lee. Enzo Yu had that ball right at his head. Didn't get a lot on it. So it just popped right up Now Fort Lee has to get back to defend. Here comes Dwight Morrow the other way. Last touch off of Fort Lee. That'll end up as a corner kick to the far side flag. 6:45 and counting left to go here in the second half. Fort Lee just had an opportunity on a set piece moments ago down on the other side of the field. Now a set piece on a corner for Dwight Morrow taken on the far side. .620 remaining. Tafilage all by his lonesome there in a sea of black. Rises above the rest and catches that one. Long ball. Sent on a line drive. Corradazolo over to the near side. Trying to curl it around. Left it for his teammate Choi, who then left it to Dwight Morrow. Here's Chan. Waiting on it. But he is sent down to the deck. Was spun around and lost possession. Over to the far side. Dwight Morrow turns it right back over. Fort Lee bringing it down the field. No real shot opportunities. Too much dribbling going on right now. Now Lancheros to the far side. Try to jump into the defender. Did he get the call? He did. The official was all the way down to the far side of the field behind the play. From our vantage point, it looked like Lancheros was jumping straight up in the air into the defender, but drew the contact, and here's now a set piece on a free kick upcoming for Dwight Morrow as we're ticking down to the final 5 minutes of regulation in a scoreless league game here. Dwight Morrow and Fort Lee, it's been physical from the onset. Both goalies haven't been challenged all too much. While the teams have been building up possession, they've just not been able to get shots off. Here's an opportunity. In-swinger inside, deflected, and a score for Dwight Morrow. Off the set piece late in regulation. A beautiful finish there in front. And Dwight Morrow has taken that elusive one-goal lead with 4:39 left to go in half number 2. That was a beautiful finish right in front of the net. Nothing that Tafilage could do on the one-timer finish. So now it's on for Fort Lee. They have only 4:39 left to work with to avoid giving up another result here at home this season. They lost a 2-1 hard-fought game here at home in their opener against Paramus Catholic and now trail Dwight Morrow 1-0 here late in regulation as well. They lost 1-0 a season ago here at home against Dwight Morrow. They face a similar fate here if they don't get a tying goal late. Taken over to the far side wing. Fort Lee trying to get around the defense. They leave it to the top of the box. Sent forward and cleared out to midfield by Dwight Morrow. Time not on the side of Fort Lee. The Bridgemen desperate trying to find an answering goal. The far side it goes. They need to press forward and get some scoring opportunities, not just keep it on the perimeter. Ball's loose at around the 20-yard line. Again, good defending and good defensive work all game long here by Dwight Morrow. Can they salt this one away? 3:45 and counting left to go in the second half. Played over to the far side will be a throw-in right in front of the Fort Lee bench. Popped up in the box defensively, cleared forward. Under 3.5 minutes left to go in regulation. Dwight Morrow has just scored a minute ago to take the first lead of the game at 1-0. Played over to the near side. Corradazolo in hot pursuit of the possession to the near side, cleared away by Dwight Morrow. It'll be a throw in for Choi. Getting it right back into play. Corradazolo frustrated with himself, delaying the game a little bit. Clock being told to stop as, again, Corradazolo was knocking the ball out of play himself. Waiting for the resumption of play from the officials as they confer with one another. Now it'll be a throw-in as the time ticks down, under 3 minutes left. Out of bounds, last touch though off of Fort Lee. Will be a little more time wasting now expected here from Dwight Morrow. Doing all the little things you need to do to win a soccer game. Played out of bounds to the near side. Another whistle sounds after Fort Lee was trying to, restart play to the near side away from where the referee wanted them to restart play. Thrown back into play. Fort Lee running out of time as we're coming up on the final 2 minutes of the half. And a whistle sounds, and it's going to be possession here for Fort Lee. Clock will be told to stop as it looks like it's going to be yellow administered here to Dwight Morrow, as they will have a yellow card given to Dwight Morrow. 2:11 left to go here, and an anxious ending to this game. As the referee trying to announce how much time should be put back on the clock. 2:30 is officially what the time is that remains here. 2.5 minutes left to go in the second half. Fort Lee in desperate search of the equalizing goal. Morrow will handle this free kick. Sent into the box with a body diving down in it. Karam's all the way back. Morrow has to send it right back in. Up top to Caden Chan. Chan tries to get it to Enzo Yu. He's tugged down from behind. No call, though. Fort Lee incredulous, and their fan base underneath us, and why there was no contact whistled against Dwight Morrow. We play on. 2 minutes left to go here, and a contentious ending to this game. It's been a fun one all afternoon long. Played up top. Dwight Morrow getting around the defense. Open inside the box. Lancheros takes the shot. What a save by Tafalage. Keeping hope alive here for Fort Lee with a brilliant save in tight. Tafalage keeps this a possibility and a comeback for Fort Lee. Another goal would pretty much put the icing on top for Dwight Morrow. 90 seconds left to go in regulation. They send it down the other way. Over to the near side. It goes to Steer. Steer tries to play it with a centering ball. Intercepted. 1:15 left to go. Dwight Morrow out to space. And now there's a whistle and a stoppage here. The time will stop with 1:06 left to go, as Fort Lee has one of their players down behind the play, being stretched out. Looked like it was about to be a breakout in the play for Dwight Morrow, but the clock has been frozen with 1:06 left to go in this game. And Fort Lee has had their opportunities here, but the only team that was able to capitalize on an opportunity offensively so far in this second half has been Dwight Morrow. Dwight Morrow with a great play off of a set piece was able to score off the set piece and take a 1-0 lead. They scored the goal with about 4.5 minutes left to go in this game, and this game has been taking forever to come to a conclusion. Time put back on the clock. A lot of stoppages as well. This has felt like an eternity since that Dwight Morrow goal. 66 seconds left as Dwight Morrow trying to make it back-to-back wins on the season, both of which on the road in league play, would even their record at 2-2 on the season. Fort Lee 1-1, 1-0 in league play, but in danger of losing their second consecutive home game of the year. Headed up top. 1 minute left to go here in the second half. Dwight Morrow trying to kill off some more time. Now a whistle and a foul. Time will continue to go here. It's not a card. Possession here for Fort Lee. Tafalage, the goalie, will come all the way out to the 30 to re-trigger the start of play. Sends that long ball forward. headed down. Now out to space in the far side. Fort Lee has just not been able to generate the scoring opportunities here today. Cleared out of bounds to the far side. 26 seconds left. Fort Lee looking for a little late game magic. They curl it around. Did they earn a corner? They did. Corner kick coming up. Anxious couple of seconds. What a way to end this game. Corner kick in the far side for Fort Lee. Into the box. Loose in the box. Trying to get to it. Cleared away. 7 seconds left. Dwight Morrow clears it out to the far side. And a whistle sounded. We'll see if this will end it. Will this be a penalty kick? No time on the clock right now, but the two officials conferring with one another. They whistled before the stoppage of play. Did something happen here in the penalty box area which would trigger a potential penalty kick with no time on the clock? Both players from both sides trying to bark out their frustrations, and now some pushing and shoving going on between field players and keepers. Tempers starting to heat up even more so here, and you don't want anything to mar what has been an outstandingly played game. You had the pushing and shoving going on behind the play. Caranazzolo, who's an emotional player, was trying to plead his case to one of the officials. He was being held off by Martinez, the goalie. They started pushing and shoving after talking and yelling at each other. So again, everything's got to be sorted out here. And I don't know what they're sorting out if this is eventually a penalty kick. Again, the penalty kick, if it is going to occur, was called for before play was officially whistled to triple zeros here. Keeper is talking things over with Enzo Yu right now, who's holding on to possession of the ball, almost expecting that it's going to be a penalty kick. There was no official word being signaled by the official, and now it looks like with the ball being spotted at the place, it will be a penalty kick. So a penalty kick opportunity here for Fort Lee with no time on the clock in the second half. A goal, and that would tie the game. A save or a miss, and Dwight Morrow would win. Enzo Yu, who leads Fort Lee with 3 goals on the season, sets, fires, scores! And Fort Lee ties it up with no time remaining here in the second half. It was a conference by the officials near the end of that game of whether or not they were going to award a penalty kick, and the penalty kick was granted and converted by Fort Lee. What a crazy finish to this game as Enzo Yu scores in the 80th minute to tie this game up at 1-1. Enzo Yu already with his 4th goal of the season in this, the 3rd game of the year. He has scored at least 1 goal in every contest here in 2022. Now the keeper's having to be held back for Dwight Morrow by one of his defenders, going after the officials. This is just chaos at the end of this game. Again, in the waning moments, they'll put 5 minutes on the board here now for overtime. I think they're going to give 5 minutes for the teams to just break before we start overtime. So 5 minutes to catch our breaths. I don't know how that's possible. But just to summarize, we were scoreless throughout this game until about 4:39 left to go in the contest. What looked like to be a decisive goal was scored by Dwight Morrow off a set piece on the far side of the field. Looked like it was the cutting Steven Carabano was the man who got a foot on it, got a beautiful one-timer volley finish in the front of the net. That gave Dwight Morrow a 1-0 lead. It looked like it was going to remain that way as we got to the final seconds of play. And then a whistle was sounded with about 6 or 7 seconds left to go in the game. The officials were talking things over as it went to triple zeros. And then eventually they conferred and awarded a penalty kick to Enzo Yu and Fort Lee. And Yu, in a clutch moment with everyone watching, knowing that if he didn't score there, the game would be won by Dwight Morrow, calmly and coolly slid it over to the near side post for his 4th goal of the season. And in the process, tied this score up at 1-1 and has sent this game to overtime. Talk about the cardiac kids for Fort Lee, waiting until the last possible moment to score that tying goal to prevent the shutout victory and send this into extra soccer here. This game has lived up to the hype and the billing of this second league game of the year between Dwight Morrow and Fort Lee. Again, Dwight Morrow seconds away from duplicating their 1-0 victory here on the road at Fort Lee a season ago. But then a late penalty kick granted and given to Fort Lee, and Enzo Yu converts 4 goals in those first 3 games of the season for number 10 in black. The senior has proven to be the most effective goal scorer so far this year for Denba, Maine. So now, is there any more magic left in Fort Lee? They found the late equalizer. Can they have the game winner here in OT? Fort Lee has allowed only 2 goals so far this entire season, both of which, or now 3 goals I should say, all of which have come here at home. They shut out Dumont 3-0 in their last game, lost 2-1 here at home against Paramus Catholic in their first game. What is on the horizon here? Fort Lee had the better of the opportunities in that second half, leading up to the eventual goal scored by Dwight Morrow. Dwight Morrow had a couple of opportunities as well to even pad their lead. Let's not forget that amazing save that Alton Tafalage made when it was 1-0, and it was a point-blank shot opportunity by Dwight Morrow to try to double their lead at 2-0. Tafalage made the save and kept this an opportunity and a possibility for his side. And they cashed in on the PK finish. As again, we're just sorting things out. This has been a hard-fought game between these two sides, a very physical game. A lot of fouls, a lot of second-half cards as well between both sides. Think about 4 yellow cards given to Dwight Morrow, 2 to Fort Lee. As the officials going over everything with the captains from both sides, as we're still a minute away from the resumption of play and the start of overtime. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Mike Verchapi. We've been enjoying it. Hopefully you've been enjoying it wherever you may be on this Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. What a way to kick off a brand new season in league play. Again, this had the feeling of a county tournament or state playoff game. The way of how this has been played, so physically, so hard fought throughout the course of this entire game. And you could tell that these two teams, there's no love lost between these two sides as well. So about to start overtime here. Again, 1-1 is your score. A penalty called with about 6 seconds left to go in regulation, so the penalty kick was taken with officially no time on the scoreboard here. That was a do-or-die time. A save or a missed shot, that would have ended the game as a win on the road for Dwight Morrow. How will the Maroon Raiders be able to collect themselves now heading into this overtime? They were all protesting. You had players being held back by other players. As the teams get back onto the field. For the first overtime here. The time is started. Dwight Morrow looking to play it long down the near side. Trying to get to it is Jinha Park. Goes out of bounds to the near side. Fort Lee with the possession. Fort Lee in the black and orange. In the maroon and gray. Dwight Morrow sent over to the far side. Opportunity for Dartley. Dartley tried to backheel that one into the box, trying to free up his teammate. Goes out of bounds to the far side. Throw in now for Fort Lee. The Bridgemen have never led in this game. Gave up a late goal with under 5 minutes left to go in regulation, but managed to produce a game-tying penalty kick with 6 seconds left to go in the second half. That goes out of play and will go out now for a goal kick for Dwight Morrow. Sent to midfield, Caradazzolo could not get a piece of it. Volleyed forward by Dwight Morrow. To the feet of Lancheros. Turns, goes long to the other side, headed forward. Mishit briefly by Fort Lee. They'll skewer it out of bounds to the near side. Out of play. Will be a throw-in now for Dwight Morrow. Played up top, stolen away. A lot of contact, tugging of the jersey, foul whistled behind the play against Dwight Morrow, who tried to slow down the advance up the field to Fort Lee. Long ball to the far side. Garabano was trying to track it down. Collision ensues. Dwight Morrow plays it forward. Steer getting it up top to Enzo Yu. Down to the far side. The player going down, all clean tackle, and now a whistle against Fort Lee. After Fort Lee and their patrons trying to state that that was clean challenge. Fans are getting into it in the stands as well around here. As you could hear around our broadcast, things are heating up not only on the field, but also in the stands. This is anyone's game right now. Caradazzolo trying to get that into the midfield. Karam's out to space to the far side to Shinoda. Trying to get it to Chan. Chan goes with the 1-2 route. Goes over to the far side. The build-up in the box. Chip shot off the crossbar. Oh, tantalizingly close to a goal here in overtime. What a build-up by Fort Lee. And that rang off of the crossbar, keeping it out of the net. That would have sent this place into pandemonium if they had scored that one. That was a beautiful build-up to the shot opportunity that rang off the woodwork. 6:30 left to go here in OT. Down to the far side. Fort Lee obviously with the best opportunities so far here in overtime. Field started to open up a little bit for the Bridgemen. They take the shot from distance, measured, and that hit off the crossbar of the football uprights. Fort Lee, the more aggressive side, they're winning possession in the midfield, and they're starting to get more shots from distance. They're measuring it up and not missing by much, but if you're Coach Demba Main, you have to love that they're getting the shots, period. There's pushing and shoving in the midfield, and now it's going to be a free kick upcoming for Fort Lee. Sent forward. Pinballed in the box. Can they get a shot off here? Played back. Curling ball by the freshman Cheng. Just rises too high to the outside, and that'll go out for a goal kick. 5.5 minutes left to go. Still a 1-1 game. If you're just joining us, where have you been? Dwight Morrow broke a scoreless tie with 4:39 left to go in regulation, only to think that they had done enough to secure the road win and then have a penalty kick awarded to Fort Lee with officially no time left on the clock. They tied it up and forced overtime, and this is where we reside right now. Fort Lee has had the better of the play here in OT. Now a counterattack opportunity for Dwight Morrow. Long ball over to the far side, staying onside. Lancheros racing it down to the far side. Gets by that initial defender, chipped into the box. Header attempt, ball's loose, still in the box. Trying to turn around, look for an opportunity. Trying to buy a call, no call coming. That's cleared out of harm's way, out of bounds to the far side. Last touch off of Fort Lee. It's going to be a throw-in upcoming for Dwight Morrow. 4.5 minutes left to go here in overtime. Play it forward. Getting a header on that, but nothing too challenging. And now it's sent forward. Fort Lee trying to chase it down. Cleared away out of bounds to the far sideline off of Dwight Morrow, and now it's going to be a possession and a throw-in coming here for the Bridgemen. Fort Lee has never held the lead yet in any of their 2 home games so far this season. They trailed throughout against Paramus Catholic, had a tying goal, but then eventually lost 2-1 late in regulation. And in this game, they never took the lead. Ball sent the other way. A lot of tugging there, and the referee says, get up, as Dwight Morrow player was trying to dive for a call there. Play to Chan, to the top of the box, played over to the near side, and the pass just a little too long. Chan had it at his feet and went for his teammate streaking down the near side. He was trying to get it to Jiha Park, but could not get it to him. As it went a little too long, he'd want Caden Chan to maybe do something with that himself. Take this game over and make an attacking run on the goal. Dwight Morrow over to the near side. 2:50 and counting left to go here in regulation. That one's popped up. Fort Lee, strong defensive work again. Popped up to the near side of Park. Park can't get to it. Headed out of bounds. It's going to be possession and a throw-in for Fort Lee. Now at the feet of Chan. Chan can't get it cleanly. Cleared away again by Dwight Morrow. Stays in play for Lancheros to the near side. Collision ensues. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch off of Fort Lee. Will be a throw-in in the offensive end for Dwight Morrow. 2:10 and counting left to go here in overtime. This game has had a little bit of everything, including that dramatic finish in regulation that brought us here to overtime. Is there another goal coming? Centering ball. Steered away by Ryan Steer. Dwight Moore is still attacking to the near side with King. Setting that ball over to the far side. And that far side post just headed away. There was a misplay of defensive assignments that time by Fort Lee, as they left a man open on that far side post, and the header was true. That could have been dangerous for Fort Lee. Bad results here. Taflash has to come off his line to secure that one after initially having a bad pass out of his zone. King over the midfield. Zolo gets contact, and we play on. Ball down the near side. Here comes Fort Lee to run after it, and they deflected out of bounds. It's going to be a corner with 1 minute left to go. Fort Lee earns a corner kick. Going to be taken to the near side corner. 50 seconds and counting. Two men waiting at the corner flag to the near side. Zolo plays it off to Chan. Chan takes it down the near side. Is that going to be a foul inside the box or just outside? If it's just outside, oh, a big sigh of relief. If it was inside, that would have been another penalty kick opportunity for Fort Lee and a chance to win it. 15 seconds left to go. Time is wasting here. Now the referee tells the clock operator to stop with 10 seconds left to go. Looks like they're asking for 12 seconds to be put on the clock. 12 seconds it is. Set piece opportunity in the near side wing for Fort Lee. Can they take the lead here with 12 seconds left to go? Set to the near side, chip shot, it pinballs around, just poked away. What a save on the near side post. Go out of bounds, but I don't think Fort Lee will get to it in time for a potential corner kick, but a game-saving save made on the near post by Dwight Morrow keeps this game level at 1-1. What a game. What a save there by Dwight Morrow after Fort Lee had earned a little chip shot opportunity on a set piece just outside the box when Chan was so close to potentially drawing a second penalty kick opportunity of the game for the Bridgemen. So the drama continues and builds more and more, as we'll have another 10 minutes and double overtime set on the board here today. 1-1 the score, this big North American Division showdown. Fort Lee and Dwight Morrow. Fort Lee had a couple of great looks in that first overtime. None better than that last shot on goal that was destined to sneak inside the near post. Goes to the far sideline. Dwight Morrow playing a little more tired here, visibly playing a little more in their defensive end of the field. They play it up top. Aggressive tackle attempt. Now over to the far side. Dwight Morrow plays it forward. Here's a buildup and a potential counter. Dwight Morrow to the far side of the field. Again, all the goals happening in the final 5 minutes of regulation. That sent us to overtime. Now here's an opportunity. A foul whistled against Fort Lee and a set piece around the 20-yard line for Dwight Morrow. A set piece opportunity here for Dwight Morrow. They scored off a set piece going in this identical direction late in the second half. They had set it up on the far sideline and had a cutter right across the middle, just one time in with his foot, right past Tafalage into the back of the net. Lancheros will handle it. Yellow card being shown, it looks like, to Dwight Morrow. Lucas Londano, I don't know if it was obviously something he said, but it wasn't to the referee's liking, and the player who runs that defense in the back line for Dwight Morrow is going to be sent off the field for a couple of minutes, and a substitute will come in his place. So another yellow card shown to a Dwight Morrow player here this afternoon. Lofting shot just goes high and wide to the upper right-hand corner. That'll go out for a goal kick. 8:15 and counting now left to go here in the second overtime. Goes to the midfield. Played over to the near side. Good ball. Down the near side at Dartley. Dartley trying to center it. Oh, what a shifty move. Ball is loose inside, and it's still no call. Enzo Yu was trying to shift his weight, turn the corner. He thought he was tugged down, but we play on. Referee would not surrender a penalty kick there. What a brilliant one-on-one move there by Enzo Yu. Spun around the ball, got a step on the defender, but he thought he was tugged down inside the box. We play on. 7.5 minutes left to go here in double overtime. 1-1 the score. Curling ball deflected out of bounds. Is that going to be a corner? Looks like it will be for Dwight Morrow on the far side. What a game. Lodano will come back onto the field after he was sent off with the yellow card. Looks like he will handle the corner kick taken on the far side corner flag. Dwight Morrow trying to win for the second consecutive year here on the road in Fort Lee. Chipped into the box, header attempt, Tofflage right in the middle of the net to make the save. Tofflage quickly with the outlet to the far side. Chan gets to it just in front of his own bench, keeps it in play. Enzo Yu now winning that foot race into the box, tries to pass it over to the near side. Dartley just can't get to it in time. Good defensive work there by Dwight Morrow, 1v1 to steal possession away. Here comes Dwight Morrow down the near side, playing it to themselves. Choi, good job of recovering on defense. Both players jockeying for possession down the near side, and a foul whistled against Dwight Morrow. Possession given over now to Fort Lee. Frantic couple of moments here, end-to-end action. Played out of bounds. Down to the near side. Up top to Shinoda. Shinoda being tracked down from behind. Still gets it over in time to the far side. Now it's going to be a whistle, and it looks like it's going to be possession and a free kick upcoming here for Fort Lee. 5:25 left to go in double overtime. Both teams just trading a couple of headers. Choi getting credited with a handball. Whistle goes against Fort Lee. Possession now for Dwight Morrow. Free kick upcoming now for the Maroon Raiders. Long ball trying to set up to the far side. Ball caroms out in space, collected at around the 25-yard line. Low lining shot. Still difficult. Tofflage shutting the door. 4:35 left to go. Tofflage kicking it away. Chan trying to get to it, forces the turnover. Guardazzolo up top to Chan. Chan trying a hard pass over to the near side. Deflected and allows the keeper to get to it in time. Caden Chan, if he's guilty of something sometimes, it might be just being a little too unselfish. Trying to pressure the keeper here. And now a whistle after it looks like Chan got a piece of the arm of the keeper, and now it's a quick retake here with a kick. Trigger back the play for Dwight Morrow to the near side. Out of bounds it goes. 3:48 left to go. A stoppage as subs are being allowed onto the field. Clock will continue to meander its way down. 3:40 and counting. After the subs have been made, Choi will throw it in. Ball caromed out to space, try to play it forward. You could not run underneath that one. Long ball. Now will force Steer to head this one out of play to the near side. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining here in our second overtime. Dwight Morrow scored the game's first goal with 4:39 left to go in the second half. Fort Lee was awarded a penalty kick with officially 6 seconds left to go in the game. They converted, forced overtime. In overtime, the first overtime, Fort Lee has hit a crossbar. Dwight Morrow really hasn't produced any outstanding offensive opportunities since they scored their goal. Down the middle of the field, Guardazzolo actually missed it, but it caromed off the defender out in space to Fort Lee. Ball is loose down the far side. Full field sprints going on by the Bridgemen. Dwight Morrow trying to keep it in play. They actually jettison it out of bounds to the far side. Trying to curl inside the box. Ball is loose. Popped up to the near side. Keeper venturing deep out of his goal initially. Dartley deflects it off of the defender. Corner kick for Fort Lee taken to the near side. Under 2 minutes left to go in double overtime. Garadazzolo. He'll handle the service here from the near corner. Low liner. Trying to sneak it into the near side, post side. Ball pinballs around, still inside the box. Cleared out of harm's way by Dwight Morrow. Out of bounds it goes with a high boot to the near side. And now it's going to be possession for Dwight Morrow, as their player a little slow to get to his feet as well. Dartley try to get a piece of it. And now time will stop as a player is still down behind the play with 1:12 left to go here in the second overtime. 1:22 is being told to be put on the clock as we're closing in on the end of the second overtime. 1-1 the score between Dwight Morrow and Fort Lee, the first of two regular season meetings between these two schools. Again, they'll renew acquaintances on October 6th in Englewood. Play resumes. For Fort Lee, setting that one wide to the far side. Bridgman trying to get to it. A lot of bumping, a lot of shoving, and eventually it's last touched by the Bridgmen. As we're coming up on the final minute of double overtime. As the referee telling the Dwight Morrow player to come back to where he should initiate the throw-in on the far sideline. No foul on the play. Replay on. Down the far side. Here's an opportunity. Just a little too long, though, for Dwight Morrow. Lancheros could not run underneath that one. 37 seconds and counting left to go. As that's sent out of bounds as well. Under 30 seconds left to go in regulation. Played forward. Headed forward now by the Fort Lee back line. 13 seconds left to go in double overtime. Lancheros, 5 seconds left. Can he produce something here? Gets close to the box, centering ball inside. Did they get it? Did it count? Did it beat the buzzer? Dwight Morrow is celebrating, and it looks like they scored in a walk-off fashion. Oh my! How did Dwight Morrow score with 1 second on the clock in double overtime? A heartbreaking finish for Fort Lee. It beat the buzzer. The officials go over to talk to Demba Main, but what a play by Lancheros on the far side. He took it wide, and Fort Lee just did not play to the final second. And this is a heartbreaking result here for Fort Lee. They used the drama to earn a penalty kick with no time left in regulation. That eventually forced overtime, and Dwight Morrow used a little drama of their own with 1 second remaining in the second overtime. They find the deciding goal here in an instant classic at the Sugarman Sports Complex. Your final score, Dwight Morrow 2 and Fort Lee 1. What a finish. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this exciting edition of Fort Lee Boys Varsity Soccer Action here on the Fort Lee YouTube Athletics channel. For Dimitri Nanis and Mike Riccioppi, I'm an exhausted Dan Long saying so long here from Fort Lee. Join us for our next boys soccer game on September 20th as the Bridgemen will play host to Ridgefield Park in another Big North American Division game. So again, the final score here, Dwight Morrow 2, Fort Lee 1. Take care, everybody.